young girls were flirting with us.
Maybe your hair is just at the exact right length.
It needs a cut, and I just scheduled one.
Honestly, I watched the Cassidy Campbell video, and you look pretty handsome in it. I'm not going to lie. I say you keep it.
Did I really?
It looks good. Yeah.
Well, it's good about it, Leo.
I think it's the right length, buddy. You look like a half surfer, half, if you throw on those glasses that our boy Austin has over there, you might be able to look like one of those Harvard intellectuals with a little long hair, like a little edgy mathematician. That's one of the best looks out there.
You know what I think's going on right now?
What?
I think you're trying to do or say the opposite of what you actually think would look good on me because you want me to get less pussy so that more DMs flow to you.
This is such bullshit. That is not what I want. I am nothing. Look, if I can get pussy for those around me, the pussy comes to everyone. It's like the trickle down theory. But I don't need pussy right now.
What's going to be your next piece of advice? Eat a 12-pack of Hostess cakes before bed? You trying to get me fat, Leo?
Dude, I'm getting fat. No, listen.
Daddy, these are really good for your glucose levels and your metabolism. What do you say?
I really think that your fucking hair is at the right length, man.
Needs a trim.
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. But yeah, teach his own, buddy. You find your look. But I think it's here.
It's got to get trimmed up. It's unkempt. I need to put up my hair, like into a little fucking tie. I have to get one of those girls' things.
Yeah.
What are they? The little hoops.
Yeah.
In order to get anything done, because otherwise I can't see.
Ooh.
It's like an alpaca that nobody's bothered to shave roaming around in the summer.
But that's what it is about it. You look wild. You know what I mean? You look a little like you were lost in the jungle for a few. You look like Tarzan. Tarzan was European. He was white. He wasn't like me. People say, "Oh, you're Tarzan." Like, no, actually, Tarzan looked like you.
Tarzan wasn't a historical figure, right?
Well,
can you look Tarzan up, Austin?
I bet it. No, but it's a famous. So. It's a very famous book.
You say was as if he were as real as George Washington or Benedict Arnold.
Well, he's based on a character in a book.
Which book?
That was Tarzan and the Apes.
Who wrote that? Robert Louis Stevenson or something? I don't know either.
I don't know. But I was reading some heavy literature today, and I sent a picture of you of a video idea I thought would be nice.
Constitutes heavy literature?
It's Don Quixote, which is a 1,000-page novel that's considered one of the greatest, if not the greatest book ever written, but one of.
If I fired an ice cube into the sun with the most powerful cannon ever, that ice cube has a better chance than you have of finishing that book.
That's why I'm going to finish it. I've had it for so long, and I'm going to fucking finish it. And it's time. It's time. If I reach the end of that book, I feel like my life will change.
Don Quixote is by a Spanish author. It's considered the first novel.
Right.
It was written during the time Shakespeare was writing. Mm-hmm. It's considered the first true novel. Some people call it the greatest novel ever written. Mm-hmm. It's about Don Quixote and Pancho.
Yeah, Sancho Panza.
Sancho, excuse me. Yeah. Don Quixote, he reads a bunch of books about chivalry and knighthood, wants to go have adventures, and then Pancho is just his little bitch, right?
Well, it's
groveling bitch.
Yeah, it's like I could see you playing Don Quixote's Fanjeri Sancho. I don't know who I'd play. I
can see that.
Could you see that? And you know who the girl he likes, Dulcinea, is a whore. She's the town whore, and he doesn't know. So who could play that? None other than the lady that lives. The one from the video, dude. The whore from the video that you banged.
Ooh.
See? That's shaping up to be a video.
I know they fight windmills in it.
Yeah, exactly. There could be so many things we could do.
We know there are windmills in Solvang. We know there are windmills down in where they have Coachella.
Yeah, dude.
Otherwise known as Coachella Valley.
Yeah.
We could do something with this. It would just be so tough because part of writing a video is I have to synthesize the body of work, and it's going to take 3 months to fucking read that if I'm reading it every day.
The Cliff Notes version of it, but I know you wouldn't do that. But yeah, you would. Obviously, it would be cool to do though. I would appreciate that.
How many pages do you get through each session of reading Don Quixote?
To be honest, 4 pages. They're heavy, dude. They all have those little thing like the symbols that you have to look at the bottom of the page for the definition, the footnotes. Every page has those, but it is pretty full. It's so rich. It's nice to read, but I'd say I get through 4 or 5 pages, and then I go to a self-help book or some shit.
So you're on page 12.
I'm on page 15 right now. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
How do you know anything about it?
Well,
Wikipedia passed. Well, there's
a theater production called Man of La Mancha that has, because it's basically the entire story. It's also we read part of it in high school. I didn't remember much of it, but it's the beginning of the novel per se, and and kind of we read like what we discussed what the important messages were in Don Quixote, and it kind of like attracted me because it was like it's kind of like you can be crazy in your own reality, and other people might think that you're nuts, but as long as you are content, what does it really matter what other people think?
Beautifully said.
Yeah. So that's kind of the idea in Don Quixote, and
don't say it like a Spaniard.
Don Quixote, and I want to get through it because I think at the end of the tunnel there, I think my life's going to change.
You already know the message. There's no point in carrying on.
It's 1,000 pages. I want to see what's in between all that.
They fight some windmills. They go to some places. There's a whore. We already know enough. My theory on literature is to be a really great piece of literature, it shouldn't only be critically acclaimed by the guy with a pipe and monocle sitting up in a tower at Harvard University.
Right.
It should be acclaimed by anybody with a high school education. The Great Gatsby, fine example.
Yeah.
You can pick that book up right now.
Yeah.
And if you can read, and if you have lived a little bit, you can read that, you can relate to that. Oh, the passages where Gatsby's reflecting on the loss of Daisy. Gorgeous.
I like my dad's review of The Great Gatsby.
What do you say?
Story of a cuck.
I feel like I'm having deja vu. Have we talked about Gatsby recently?
I don't think so.
Catch-22 is another example.
I'm going to read Catch-22 because that seems... somebody else mentioned it that I respect just as much as you, Danny, all right? But I know that's your favorite book, right?
It's one of them.
One of them.
It really influenced my early comedy. It's hilarious. It's easily understood. There aren't a bunch of esoteric passages about the color white like there are in Moby Dick. I tried reading Moby Dick when I first moved down here to L.A. My Kindle ended up fucking flying against my wall.
That's a lot, yeah.
Smashing the floor.
Inlanighi said that he was reading Moby Dick.
Inlanighi's the biggest liar.
Because he's an Indian. Yeah, man. What about... Did you ever read Shakespeare? I love your take. What Shakespeare did you really, wrap your head around and actually understand and enjoy?
The only Shakespeare that I've read on my own was Hamlet. I read it with mediation, so I had the Barnes & Noble copy that had explanations of every passage on the back like you're doing right now. So I had to flip, and I was also using an online reference. The only passage I can remember that I thought was really good was the graveyard scene. You remember the graveyard scene?
When he's talking to the...
Yeah, that appeared in a Danny Mullen video.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any reference to the graveyard scene.
I watched that video too, but it was way back in the day.
It's a great fucking piece of work.
It's a great video.
That passage, though, where he finds the skull of poor Yorick, who used to entertain Hamlet when Hamlet was a baby, that is great because he's reflecting on all these bodies in the graveyard. Some are a fool like Yorick, and some are lawyers and landowners. And no matter what they achieved in life, here they are in the graveyards of Elsinore.
Wow.
They're dead. They're dirt. It's been so long since I've read it, but the point is that, or at least the point I took, don't overthink things.
Don't overthink things. It doesn't matter. At the end, in 100 years, that's what I always tell you to tell women, dude. If you can get that point across to women, you're going to get fucking pussy, guys. You're going to get pussy. In 100 years, no one's going to remember anything that we did, more than likely. Danny Mullen, maybe the videos will go down in some historical YouTube, vault.
I'll be remembered, no doubt. I actually wrote a little bit about that theme in the Target rape video with the fairy tales. There was a little bit of that in the duck sheep passage.
It's very ridiculous of me, but I memorized a Shakespeare quote from Henry V. Is it?
I can't wait for this. Okay,
yeah, I
do it.
just to impress girls.
Just do it.
We few, we happy few, we band of brother. For he today who sheds his blood with me shall be my brother. He tells that to the entire army right before they go.
How does that help you get pussy? I don't get it.
I don't know. Just in case we were talking about Shakespeare, I'd be like, my favorite Shakespeare quote is Henry V.
That's not even, girls aren't going to relate to that at all. Well, that would be a good quote. How about this, Leo?
I was expecting to be around intellectuals. I didn't know my life was going to consist of this. You're an intellectual. I'm sorry. But I'm saying I didn't know that I was going to have to,
hang out with people who've actually read To Kill a Mockingbird.
You're such an asshole. Get ugly women, apparently, according to you, because all women are beautiful, Danny, to kiss Austin, all right? And I didn't know that was my life. That's mainly my job now. Getting women to kiss you, Austin, Inlanighi. That's